May the words that I speak and the thoughts and wonderings of all of our hearts draw us closer to God, who is our rock and our Redeemer. I like that song, that Who Am I to Say No? I keep wanting to make up verses to it. You know, I will send you to Wittenberg. God of mercy said to Martin Luther. I will send you to Montgomery. God of mercy said to Martin Luther King Jr. Of course, if it were the song, it would just have the one name and you get confused about which Martin you were talking about. Embedded in that, each of us is called to go and free God's people in one way or another. Each of us has our moment of standing on holy ground and our moments of doubt. And all of us are being asked by Jesus to deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow him. So we're supposed to take off our shoes and pick up our cross and go. What does that mean for us? Well, for one thing, when I started hearing this phrase over and over again in my head of, take up your cross, for some reason in the past week I've been feeling in my bones, take up your mask. Because that's what we've been asked to do, right? Take up your mask. And I think that there is more than just the civil authorities. And our Romans passage, as far as it's up to you, live peaceably with all. It will go on in Romans 13 to talk about how we should, as a general rule, obey the civil authorities as long as they're not really bad. Sometimes we have to disobey the civil authorities because they're asking us to do something that is terrible and wrong. But most of the time, we're supposed to obey the civil authorities. We're supposed to try to live peaceably, try not to get into a lot of fights. And we're asked to deny ourselves and take up our cross. And there's so many levels of this struggle. This ability to say to yourself, sometimes it's just not about me. It's not just the mask struggle, it's a million different things. You go through life, sometimes you're in the grocery store and the clerk is short with you. You know, your grandkids come to see you and they've just got home from school and everything is wrong. You cut their bread wrong for their after-school snack and the milk isn't cold enough and you're just the worst grandparent ever. Well, it's not about you. And chances are that if you've ever been on the receiving end of that, at least in your better moments, you realize that it's not about you. That somebody comes in and they're having a bad day and they take it out on you. It's usually because you're a safe person. So if you've been at school all day or at work all day and you come home and you're stressed and everybody's just been, you work at the grocery store and everybody in the store has just been snippy and snappy because this grocery store is all out of everybody's favorite kind of tuna fish and they're all taking it out on you, and then you come home from the store and you're grouchy with your family, and it goes on. That doesn't mean that it's okay to mistreat the people in your life. You should always try and treat everybody kindly and respectfully. And it certainly doesn't mean that you're allowed to take out your anger and frustration on your family members. But we all know that sometimes that does happen. And sometimes it's not about you. It's something, when I did a lot more work with teens in youth ministry, that really comes out a lot, because teens are at that stage in life where they're trying to figure stuff out. And where sometimes it can feel like everything that everyone says or does is personally about them. And so much of the time it really, really, really isn't about them. And their peers really, really don't hate them. It's just that this other thing happened and the social situation is complicated and complex, and they ended up getting hurt. But it wasn't really, it's not really about them. And so for us as Christians, learning to say it doesn't have to be about me. And so, yeah, some people are talking and protesting that it's affecting their personal freedom that they're being required to wear a mask. And I guess you could make a case. It's also attacking their personal freedom to say that they have to wear pants. But that's also a health and safety thing, and we're all required to wear pants or shorts or skirts or dresses or something. And right now we all have to wear a mask, and it's hard, and it's uncomfortable, and I keep hearing it fogs up your glasses. I'm going to have to put my glasses on and put on a mask just so I can, because I don't know, by the time I've taken my contacts out, I'm only around my family, so I don't need to wear a mask. But denying your own needs in this and saying, I've got to care for and love and protect my neighbors. It's not about me. It's about all of us. So we take up our masks. And right now they're our cross. And as far as crosses go, they're not nearly as big and heavy, although they may feel like they're having the same effect and they're suffocating us. So we take up our masks and we follow. But how do we keep the strength up to keep on doing this? How do we remember who we are about? Moses sees the burning bush. And God says, take off your shoes. You're standing on holy ground. How do we recognize the holy ground in our midst? How do we take time to be with the one who is becoming? Hebrew doesn't have separate present and future tenses. I am who I will be. I am becoming what is. How do we stop and connect to that holiness, that holy opening, unfoldingness that is God? See, that is what we need to do, because saying it's not about me and just shoving yourself down all the time, putting yourself down all the time, isn't going to get you anywhere. It's just going to get you feeling down about yourself. But when you realize it's not about me, it's about something bigger than me, something beyond me. It's about the ever-growing and expanding universe, the one who is becoming, the one who is and will be, world without end, God, the Holy One. And it is about us, all of us, who we are and who we are becoming together. So whether you come into this holy space of our sanctuary and you sense that you are on holy ground, rest in it and absorb it into you so that you have the strength to take up your cross and follow. And wherever you find those holy places, in the garden, at the lake, pause, remember the Holy One, and know that you have the strength to take up your cross once more and follow. Thanks be to God. Amen.